Good afternoon. It is half term here in the UK. I'm going to take a break from posting on YouTube to spend some time with the kids, but I'm giving you some homework. There is 3 very important consultations going through right now, and your homework for this week is to fill in the responses and the surveys. I, as your teacher, as the class leader, have taken it upon myself to put everything together for you. Okay, so we have 3 consultations. Digital ID closes on the 1st of March, road user charging closes on the 10th of March, and the digital pound, digital currency, closes on the 7th of June. These are 3 vitally important consultations. These 3 things, if they happen, will completely change your life, my life, and most importantly, the kids' lives. I've already done a video on digital ID and how that consultation was snuck through on the 1st of January with a very short lead time. I've just done a video yesterday on road user charging. That one's real bad news as well. Both of those end dates are in March. The digital pound is a bit further down the line. I've not yet done a video on that. Look, I haven't even had time to straighten my hat. I was that desperate to get this video out. I haven't yet done a video on the digital pound. That one closes in the 7th of June. If you want me to do a video on, forget it. I'll do a video on that one when I get back from my little YouTube break. Right. This document is available as a downloadable PDF in the description of the video. It's got all the links. It's got everything you need. I have made this document to be very easy to understand because the consultations themselves and the questions that they want you to reply with are not easy to understand. They are deliberately confusing. The questions are deliberately confusing. So this document gives you the links to all 3 consultations. It gives you the exact instructions on how to reply. It gives you the email addresses you need to send it to. And I've even given you some sample answers for if you read one and think, I don't know what that means. I wonder what I should type. It's all in here for you. Just download it. Don't copy and paste it, just like when you were at school, you know, make the answers your own, make some small changes. But in here we have, in order, the digital ID. So you can see that is the link to fill in the survey. The first question, your name. You should know that one, but it's optional. Email, are you an individual or an organisation? What sector are you in? And then data sharing. And then it starts the questions. The green bit there is my suggested answer. So strongly disagree. And then I've got a little paragraph. You can see the paragraph that I've written there. That's my answer for the first question on digital ID. And it goes on. On the next page, oh, look at that. You've got more of my suggestions. Strongly disagree, with some words as well. Make these words your own, but read it and understand it so you know what you're submitting when you do it. Okay, so that is digital ID. The next one after that on my PDF is, I believe, can't remember if it's road charging. It's road charging, okay? So once again, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 or so questions, all right? And again, I've got how you reply. I've written down my thoughts, so make it your own and get your answers in. It's the same for the digital pound as well, okay? I've done the same thing. It's a little bit further on. Tips on how to respond, digital pound. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, there's another sort of 14 questions. And then at the end, the final bit is you've got a comment section on the digital pound submission. And I've basically written on that. The last one says, please indicate if you believe any of the proposals in this consultation likely to impact persons with protected characteristics. They're basically asking if gays or lesbians or blacks and whites, because you know they like to put people into groups. They like people to put people into groups so that you identify as part of that group so they can easily divide us when they say, hey, you're that group, they're that group, they don't like you, they think this. Just if you're a human, I'm with you. It really is that simple. And I've written, as with other current consultations, they make no provision for people who wish to be left alone. People who don't want to be a digital cog in a digital machine. People who just wish to remain as they are without having constant government meddling in their day-to-day lives, whether that's driving, finance or identification. These consultations need to factor in an ability for the human being to just say no and refuse to be involved in any of these schemes that are alleged to be for the good of the nation. The digital pound, digital ID and road charging consultations are all very, very small steps from being the framework that a tyrannical government needs to completely control the people. And as such, I reserve the right to refuse my involvement in any of this. So it's a bit of a quick and rushed video. I've dropped the kids at the park to play football and I need to go pick them up, but I wanted to get this video out before I take my break. 3 consultations on 3 very, very important things. It is tedious to reply. Don't get me wrong. It's not just a case of just clicking some buttons, okay? Read what you're doing. Take your time to do it. Follow the advice that I've given you in my answers, and please get your responses in. I know it's highly likely that, you know, they're going to pull a Sadiq Khan and pretend that they didn't see any of the responses, but look, if they're going to throw us a little bit of rope, we got to pull it, and we got to try and pull that system down with the tiny little bit of rope that they've given us, okay? Get your answers in. As I say, digital ID is the important one. The closing date on that is the 1st of March. There's so much in this PDF, and I would have explained it all on this video, but I don't have time to do that. So have a read of it. You've seen my videos. You know the way I explain things. Dig into my words in the PDF and make it your own. Digital ID 1st of March, road user charging 10th of March. It's insane that these consultations are so short. You can just see that they have done this deliberately to try and not get the responses that are needed to take this down. And then the digital pound closing date 7th of June. So I've got a bit more time to do some stuff on that when I'm back from half term. But digital ID closes on the 1st of March. If this digital ID thing goes through, that is the end. And if you go back to my digital ID video, that is everything in and done, infrastructure in place by December 23rd. 2023 is our last year of freedom if this stuff goes through. When you combine the digital ID with road user charging and a digital pound, that is it. Open air prisons tracked digitally with no way out and no money. It's as serious as that. It's as serious as that. So please do your homework while I'm away and get these done. Everything is available, and I will put links to everything that I can in the description to make it as easy for you as possible to get your replies to these consultations in, because I just think like we're standing on the edge of a world that I just don't want to be a part of. It really is that simple. So the consultations themselves, where to send your answers. The digital ID one is a survey. The road user charging one, you send an email. The digital pound, it's a survey, and you can send emails as well. So do it all, please, for the sake of the children that I've just dropped to play football and all of the kids nationwide, because I just want them to be able to have the freedom that we've had. I want them to be able to jump in a car and drive to Scotland when they feel like it, without having to apply for mobility credits, and without anybody saying, oh no, you're not going to Scotland this weekend. There's an environment lockdown on, and we don't like what you posted on social media last week. So no, you're not going to be going to Scotland, notwithstanding the fact that there aren't going to be any cars and there's not going to be any private car ownership if we don't sort this out. So bit of a grim video. As I said, I'm going away for a little bit, so there probably won't be much content on YouTube, but thanks for all the support. Thanks for all the views. Thanks for all the subscribes. Do subscribe. It definitely helps, especially if they're going to keep me off the algorithm because I'm taking a week off. So yeah, when I get back, more of the same. Shocking, isn't it? Like, it's highly concerning. I don't know now what to do with all of this. You know, I've sent in my replies. I've done what I can to raise awareness with it. You know, I obviously come from a car world. You know, cars is where I come from, and no one in the mainstream car media is talking about this. Not one big magazine, not one classic car newspaper, none of them have touched on the fact that the very concept of car ownership is directly under threat from very short time frame consultations and very aggressive legislation. These giant media outlets that make all their money out of car enthusiasts, and the car enthusiast is currently critically endangered, and they're not talking about it. It's left to people like me and brilliant other people like Richard Vobes to raise awareness and tell you that these consultations are going on. We are being failed by the companies and institutions that we have put all our trust in over the years. You know, companies like the AA, all of the car insurance companies, not you, Ian, you're all right. You know, all of these companies that make money out of motorists, either they're not fully connecting the dots or they just think it's not going to apply to them. But the implications of digital ID and road charging and the digital pound are gigantic and far sweeping. We have to do what we can. Quite why the fires in the streets haven't started, I don't know, but I think it's the lobster in the pot thing. You know, it's the whole concept of boiling an animal in a pot. You know, does it realise it's being boiled to death? And I, and you as well, have noticed that the temperature in our pot is rising and it's getting very, very uncomfortably warm. There's a whole load of people out there that don't even realise they're in the pot. What? We're in a pot and we're all burning to death, you conspiracy theorist. You've got to get the people to realise that they are in the pot with you. And we don't want to be in the pot, that's the thing. I don't want to be right, I want to be wrong. Anyway, football time, thank you.